What are your options as an employer if you've been affected by the coronavirus epidemic that's literally sweeping our country right now? What are your options? Now, if you're an employer or if you're an employee, watch this short video to let you know what your options actually are. I'll give you 5. Okay, the first one, and I'm going to start by saying this, please don't shoot the messenger. I'm just giving you your options. Some of these options as employees, you're not going to like. Okay, so the first one, what do? You take that drastic step. Downturn in work, downturn in business. You can't afford to keep your employees on. You effectively have to let them go. So you terminate contracts of employment. That's your first option. The resulting redundancy payments that go with that, you follow, but you terminate contracts of employment. That's your option 1. Option 2, what do? Okay, you reduce salaries. Again, I did say at the start that you're not going to like all of these options. As an employer, you just can't afford to keep people on the same salaries that they were originally on before the epidemic. So you call your employees in. It's a fundamental change to their contract of employment, so you will need their consent and agreement to do this. But you explain the options to them, you explain what's going on, and you reduce salaries. Number 3, again, this one you need your employees' consent to as well. You reduce their working week. So they may have been working 5 days a week, but there's not enough work to keep them busy for 5 days. So you offer them a 3/5 contract. Again, it's a fundamental change to their contract of employment, so they need to consent to it. They work only, say, 3 days a week and they're paid 3/5 of what they were originally paid. So again, you do need your employees' consent, but it's an option to you if you want to keep your employees on. Option number 4 is you furlough your employees. Most people will have heard of this, the coronavirus government retention scheme. You temporarily lay your employees off. You pay them 80% of their salary, although you can pay that extra 20%. You pay 80% of their salary and you reclaim that back from the government by way of grant when the online portal opens. So that's a way of keeping them on. They cannot do any work, though, during this period that they have been furloughed. So you send them home and you furlough them. Your 5th option is that you offer unpaid leave to your staff. You can't afford to furlough them. You can't afford to pay them. So you call them in and you say, look, I want you to stay with me, but I just cannot afford to keep going. I can't pay you. There's no work for you to do. So can you take unpaid leave? Again, they'll have to agree to this because it's a fundamental change in their contract of employment. You might, and I've heard some employers do this, call their staff in, explain the situation and see if anybody wants to take a sabbatical at this moment in time. That's effectively pausing their contract of employment. You know, what I always say to employees when they ask me for advice is, you don't know anyone's situation in your workforce. One of them may have been thinking about having a break anyway, so put that out to them as an option. So there's 5 options for you if you're an employer. We've got an employment team that can help guide you. What's really important is you make sure that you investigate the options that are open to you. Whatever option you take, you explain it clearly to your employees. And if it's a fundamental change to their contract of employment, remember, you do need their consent to avoid any future claims against you. If you do need guidance on this, give us a call. Our employment team can help you.